Now, more than 70 years after independence, Britain's first urban Sikh lawmaker, Tanmanjeet Singh Dhesi, stood up in the British Parliament to scold the British Prime Minister, and he was applauded for it. Last year, Boris Johnson had compared Muslim women to letterboxes and bank robbers.
Or you decide to wear a cross, or he decides to wear a kippah or a skull cap, or she decides to wear a hijab or a burqa, does that mean that it is open season for right honourable members of this House to make derogatory and divisive remarks about our appearance? For those of us who from a young age have had to endure and face up to being called names such as Towelhead or Taliban, or coming from Bongo land, we can appreciate full well the hurt and pain felt by already vulnerable Muslim women when they are described as looking like bank robbers and letterboxes. Than hide behind sham and whitewash investigations, when will the Prime Minister finally apologise for his derogatory and racist remarks?
From the UK, let's shift our attention over to Iran, which is moving further away from the 2015 nuclear deal, with the country now announcing the third step in uranium enrichment. Iran's President Hassan Rouhani has announced that his country would now abandon all its commitments related to the 2015 nuclear deal and move ahead with the next step, development of centrifuges.
شاهد گسترش در تحقیق و توسعه در زمینه سانتریفیوژ ها، انواع سانتریفیوژ های جدید و هر آنچه که ما نیاز داریم برای غنیسازی انجام بده سازمان انرژی اتمی ما، و ما شاهد سرعت عمل در این زمینه باشیم.
Centrifuges will be developed from Friday and will accelerate the process of uranium enrichment. Rouhani said that the step is aimed at protecting Iranian interests and that the nuclear fuel will be used at the power plants and not for developing missiles. As per the nuclear deal between Iran and the Western countries, it was obliged to keep only a small number of first-generation centrifuges at power plants. The United States, meanwhile, is not easing the sanctions on Iran, but is definitely keeping the doors open for diplomacy. On the one hand, sanctions have been imposed on Iranian vessels. They have accused the Iranian National Guard of securing the oil vessels headed towards Syria and Hezbollah. But US President Donald Trump refused to rule out a direct meeting with President Rouhani at the UN General Assembly.
Sure, anything's possible. They would like to be able to solve their problem. They got a big problem. They're getting killed financially. Their inflation is at a number that few people have ever seen inflation at. And it's a very sad situation. They could solve it very quickly. We could solve it in 24 hours. But we'll see what happens.